My name is Gemma. I'm a criminologist, mother of two, and an advanced occultist. Today I want to talk about criminology. I'm going to get into a little bit about private spaces and public spaces, okay? And how this can underpin whatever you want to bring to the table, right? So in society, there's usually a gauge on the world through media. And it'll go through like times in society. And, it'll be a political uprising, a political change where we, as media outlets, will decide, let's change this idea. Let's bring this from a private space to a public space. And, this recently has been LGBT communities, okay? So they've changed it. So it's like an uprising. Like this hasn't happened before. All right then. But like it's never happened before, but it has. Right, it has. So what it is it's like it takes a place within society at a time. And it's a narrative, for whatever reason, that they've done it for. And what it is it's taken it from private spaces where people used to be like institutionalized for it in the 1940s. So, if you had gay tendencies, you might end up being in a mental institution for it back in the 1940s. That's true, okay? So it's almost like the world has decided that gays shouldn't be, institutionalized and it should be accepted. And, that's true, fair enough, whatever. We're hey to the gays, right? And I don't mean to be sarcastic, I'm just being honest. Like, you're a person, individual, you just don't hurt little kids, you know what I mean? Right, so, glad we got that covered. So, what it is you've got private spaces and then public spaces. And you've got, we understand that we've moved this into contemporary society, so that's today. We've moved it in today and we've made big campaigns about it, like Black Lives Matter as well. This is another one. It's almost like the discrimination and stuff like this, even though it was never hidden, but it's almost like a post to bring it forward to say, right, this doesn't happen anymore. And, what it can do when we bring it out like this into the degrees that it happened, because I believe Black Lives Matter, of course they do. Okay, I have had I've had relationships with black men. I'm not against black culture or anything like that. I like the music. I enjoy listening to the some of the music as well. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Right, but what it does. All right, now let's get back to just understanding private public spaces. So they were just examples, and I'll get into something else in a minute. But what it does is it blocks other things off from being made aware within society. So Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden anti-Semitism is on the rise. So it's almost like it allows discrimination to fall through on different areas, other areas. So it's not like all these things are, an aspect of equality, which is an underpinning of a truth. So this is part of the halo. These are aspects of equality. We should have this within us. All these things should be signified regardless of what's prime at the time in a media concept, okay? So let's get into women, for example. Women's rights and things like this. Now, I've noticed that it seems like women's rights are being on the move, but nothing really seems to be going on anywhere else, and there's things going on in private spaces like Black Lives Matter. There's also things going on in private spaces that are still continuing. So it's almost like we're pushing in an aspect of media for these things to change, but we're ignoring other factors like women's rights, children's rights, and maybe, single mothers or single fathers, instead of having gay rights for parents to be gay parents to be fathers, or mothers as a same-sex relationship. So there's an acceptance coming through of these things, but what it does is it can ignore other ones as well. But what we need to be doing, instead of pushing just specific ones through the gate, oh yeah, we'll accept these ones, but then ones can go on the wayside. That's not how this is meant to be. Okay, we're meant to accept this as an aspect of equality, and all of them should be accepted as aspects of equality. And so things that can be hidden are like abusive relationships, for example, single mothers or single parent families not having support, or things being left to the wayside and not dealing with it under an aspect of equality within institutional based factors that are provided through society to support. Okay, because everything has a supportive mechanism within our society because it's part of the system. It's an institutionalized based system. So there is always help out there. Uses the concept where there's always help out there. It says on Samaritans.org, there's always help out there, right? So there are places where people can go, but people can fall through the nets because it's not being pushed within an aspect of media at the time. So a lot of things can go hidden. A lot of things can be pushed back into private spaces. And then this is how a degradation of equality can take place. Like anti-Semitic people, that's one. And it was really big a while ago. But then it started to take a short turn and fall. And, I don't have a place of worship personally, which I don't like. And there's no place for me to go to sit with a rabbi and talk to him, for example. And there isn't that for me in where I live, so I want to go somewhere where there is, for example. That's an aspect of equality. I should be allowed that, right? So I don't sit here and moan about it, though. I just know I probably need to go back down to London and live there. So there's different concepts where we can understand where equality can take place, but we can obviously define that. We can geographically define that. We can move, we can do this, that, and the other. So there are places, but it's hidden. And this is the point that I really want to get at, is that it's hidden within our society. So when things are on a rise in a media perspective, other things are hidden and slip through the net. And this is what's going to happen. And it does, because of the media structure and how it's set out. And it's to gauge a narrative. And people campaign and put in a lot of money for it. And are they doing it for good reasons, or are they just setting a narrative? So this can combine an aspect to a halo, where we've messed about on that tree to rise to an aspect of equality to the crown, right? An aspect of equality where everyone is treated fairly, not just because it's in the media at the time, but because we have it within us and it's accessible. And we can do it ourselves, and there should be institutions in place where that can happen, okay? So there are places available. There are spaces in private. We're going back to private again. But we have to realise is that the newspapers, they're not going to purport that at the time. For example, Gemma Haley says she wants Gemma Haley says she wants a place of worship in Newark, right? I want a place of worship in Newark. Are you going to do that for me? No. All right. Okay. But if more people said it, then it'd become a public space, wouldn't it? more people was tuning into that, it'd be a public space. But if it's just one person, no, you have to make that move. But then that's an aspect of your crown. That's an aspect of your equality, okay? And it should be accepted as well. And, you know, under any rule or any system or any matter of fact, because it's your equality and this is what we stand for. This is our human rights as an aspect of equality, but it falls back onto an aspect of justice as well. And it also pertains to love, self-love, and innocence, because that's my truth. So it always links back onto itself, okay? But I really wanted to underpin equality in this one, okay? And how things can be pushed into private spaces, hidden, so that equality is destabilised in that person's life. So then it dismisses their equality within society. So it's almost like we have to take it upon ourselves to go and achieve that, okay? So this one is, I believe it's about equality. That's just a quick one that I just wanted to put down and just lay some facts about that. Theory of the Crown. My name is Gemma Haley. I am a criminologist, an advanced occultist, and a mother of 2. Right. Take care.